Well, a Wasteland Electrician's work is never done. We had to come over this way and handle a raid in the area because just because we are involved with these Brotherhood guys doesn't mean we get to slack off on helping all of our settlers. We have worked entirely too hard. And we're running the wrong direction. We have worked entirely too hard. Helping all these folks out down here. To just let all that go to the wayside. And I knew when I couldn't see this big blimp up in the air, I was going the wrong direction. We are gonna hurry up and get back over here and see if we can get this thing powered up. Every time I see that thing, it looks like a big robot. And look at this, you can see our satellite array, our big Tesla coil looking monstrosity up here. But we have been working hard on this synth teleporter machine. And we got one thing left to do, but we had to go help out some of our fellow Wastelanders, but this is our big monstrosity we have been working on. We got her all powered up. Everything is good to go. We got some pretty nice little hookup right here. Who knows? Are we ready to do this? We got one wire left to hook up on this thing. It's possibly off to the Institute, or this machine's gonna kill us, one of the two. Alright, well, I don't see nothing happening just yet.
Maxon's waiting to talk to you, and I'm not throwing the switch until he gives us the go-ahead.
Roger that, Ingram. I don't know even if we throw the switch. Exactly what are we getting into?
Remarkable work, Knight. The signal interceptor appears to be complete. Are you ready to put it to the test?
Absolutely. I'm ready to go.
Your confidence is an inspiration to us all. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue.
What are the details of my mission?
I'm glad you asked. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact, so it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the capital Wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
How did the Brotherhood meet Dr. Lee?
She was part of a civilian project in the capital Wasteland that the Brotherhood appropriated. It wasn't difficult to convince her to stay. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the capital Wasteland. After some time, She developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
I'm surprised that the Brotherhood let her go.
Had I been in command, I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. She was a valuable asset. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on, and it needs her attention.
What's this project that needs her attention?
Dr. Lee previously worked on a potent weapon for the Brotherhood of Steel. We'd like her to continue where she left off. That's all I can tell you. Listen to me, Knight. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission, and don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck.
Alright, so I have to get a serum for Virgil. I have to get some data for Ingram. And I've got to talk to Dr. Lee and possibly find out what happened to Sean as well. Find out what happened to Sean. Get the serum for Virgil. Talk to Dr. Lee. Download stuff for Virgil. I mean for Ingram. Got it.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. You wanted to get into the Institute, right? Well, what are you waiting for?
Woman, hold on a second. Alright,
Are you in or are you out? Make up
that's
your
on
mind.
You have your assignment, soldier.
Alright,
Move
we're
out.
standing a little too close. Watch out, Major. Not doing anything.
Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks
Major.
green. Let me start scanning for the signal.
Hope
Cross
to
your
see you on
fingers.
the other side.
I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to.
Yeah, you
I
don't
put a
have to
clever
yell
little
at me,
program
woman.
on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to
no,
throw
here we
the
go.
transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
Oh, we are not dead. But will we ever be the same? No greeting party? Nothing. There you go. Alright, first task complete. We need to find out what happened to Sean.
Hello. I
Hello?
wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I am known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator.
No use.
We go from being
I can only imagine
molecularized
what you've heard, what
into
you
a
think of
trap.
us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival.
This is like the cleanest
Decades of
place in
research,
the world.
countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here
Cameras
for
everywhere.
your son.
This is it. Nothing else. I go down just to go up. Might have believed this is my son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Oh, goddamn them. So many years stolen.
Who are you?
These bad people, they stole you from me.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, are you okay? You're not hurt, are you?
What's going on? Father? Father!
What do you want me to do, Sean? What can I do?
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Who is Father? Where is he?
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Whoa, who are you?
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus.
What? He's a
Fascinating,
fracking
but
synth?
disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
Father? That's your name? Your title?
Father is my unofficial title. It's what I've come to mean to the people of the Institute, just as you mean to your son, to Sean.
Help me understand what's going on here.
I promised answers, and answers you shall have. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been... It's good to finally meet you. After all this time. It's me. I am Sean.
What?
I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
But why? Why take a child? Why take you?
Ah, now that's the question, isn't it? Why me? At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you.
In a manner of speaking. Yes. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me, after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up?
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
I forget that it's been such a short time for you. I don't have any direct memories. And I've had my entire life to cope with the loss. Has it always been easy? Of course not. But I've done my best to move on and live my life. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
But, director? Why you?
I was the most qualified for the position. Obviously. I've lived my life within these walls, dedicated to science like every other member of the Institute. My hard work has paid off. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
You want me to stay here? In the Institute?
Yes. That is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest at heart. Will you take that chance?
Are you sure you want this?
Yes, I am. It would benefit us both to work together.
Oh man, I need Virgil's serum. I need to find Dr. Lee. I need to find out if this is really Sean.
All right.
Thank you. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. Please take some time, get to know it. Meet the people you'll be working with. You'll want to introduce yourself to the division heads. Dr. Fillmore in Facilities, Dr. Ao in SRB, Dr. Holdren in Bioscience, and finally Dr. Lee in Advanced Systems. They've all been notified of your arrival, of course. Meet them, and then we'll discuss what comes next.
Alrighty then.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive servo.
That's the third primary drive breakdown.
I
this
cannot
month.
believe.
As far as I'm concerned, the phase out on these older models can't come soon enough.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm
Most of them
in
have
the
lasted long
Institute.
past their
Doctor.
projected lifespans.
They weren't kidding.
If you
We
ask
really
me,
are here.
they were
Well,
built
all right.
pretty well.
I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board?
On board with what?
The Institute, of course. Sean implied you operated on a level, if not equal, then at least similar to the rest of us. Curious. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Who built this place, originally? Has it been here long?
The construction of the Institute is the work of generations of scientists. The original survivors of the war, our progenitors, took refuge in the basement of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Over time, their sons and daughters dug deeper into the earth and built increasingly sophisticated habitats and laboratories. It's a process that's still going on today. Even now, we're digging out tunnels for new facilities and infrastructure. Just think what this place will look like 100 years from now. I hope I'm there to see it. I can't argue with that. Even so, I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll out.
It's
There
an
we go.
honor to have
All
you
set.
here, sir.
Unit, you can return to duty.
Thanks
I wouldn't
again.
be so certain of that. This is incredible. This is like the most beautiful place in the entire world.
I wish you could have known Father as we have.
Man, that thing
We're
looks
all looking
real.
forward to working with you.
I'm sure you're not.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide in his office, does he? Well, you can tell him that I intend to speak with Father about these unannounced security sweeps of yours. Ransacking.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
They're
Good to see
dragging
you.
their feet on the targeting
You're
package
here.
upgrades I asked.
Glad you made it.
Maybe I should take some courses with me. Send a message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results, and they will this time as well. You'll see. Constant vigilance is vital in preventing synth escapes.
I know it'll be a difficult adjustment for you, but try to remember that synths aren't people.
It's an honor to meet you, sir.
Hi, Doc.
So, here you are. Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, you're a bit of an unknown quantity.
I'm sure you understand. There won't be any issues, will there?
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider.
The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you.
Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery of escaped synths that are hiding among the human population on the surface.
Why would synths want to escape?
Synths do not want. They might look like human beings, but they're machines. As to why they're escaping? That matter is currently under investigation. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'd like to know more about the synth reclamation process.
Fine. Once a Courser has located a rogue synth, it uses that synth's recall code to wipe its memories and render it inert. We then begin the delicate process of restoring the neural pathways to their original configuration. In those cases where the procedure is successful, the synth returns to duty with no memory of its time on the surface. All too often, we're unable to repair the damage and are forced to dispose of the unit entirely.
Alrighty then.
You wouldn't happen to have a spare polarizer on you, would you?
If I would, I wouldn't give it to you.
Object identified.
No visible reaction to the K-14 compound. We'll start the next trial then. The dosage will be much larger this time, and the side effects will likely be more pronounced.
Will there be any pain?
I honestly don't know. I suppose it's your job to find out. Now hold still.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Well, that was productive.
Dr. Lee.
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
Actually, I was looking for you.
Me? Why?
I've been sent by the Brotherhood of Steel to find you.
You don't beat around the bush, I'll give you that. I knew it was just a matter of time before your people would track me down. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost a decade, waiting for them to send someone like you to kill me.
I'm only here with good intentions. You have my word.
You're giving me your word, even though we just met? Fine. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Are you happy here?
You'd think being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the greatest minds the world's ever known would be enough. Only problem is the lack of transparency. I don't think we get the full story on everything that occurs down here. What does that have to do with why we're talking?
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doctor.
Needs my help? Why? They seemed to have everything under control when I left.
The Brotherhood valued your presence, and we'd like you to come back.
Well, how sweet of them. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything I've accomplished here?
Father trusts me, and so should you.
He trusts you because you're family. I'm not. I can't just take your word for it. I need more than that.
I give up. What would it take to convince you?
All right, I'll play your game. I had a colleague down here, a Dr. Virgil. Several months ago, there was an accident in his lab, and he was killed. I wanted to help with the investigation, but Father had the laboratory sealed, saying that it was contaminated. The incident never sat right with me. The more I asked about it, the more I felt like Father was deflecting my questions. If you bring me solid information on what killed him, I'll take it as a favor from the Brotherhood and consider your offer. Do we have a deal?
Sure, I need to find the serum from Virgil anyway.
Deal.
All right. Dr. Virgil's lab was in the Biosciences Division. I can give you a code that will get you into the section, but the lab itself has been sealed, so you'll have to breach it on your own. I'd tell you to be quiet about it, but your brotherhood and discretion isn't exactly your strong suit. And finally, if you get caught, we never had this conversation. Now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability to relay in and out of the Institute at will.
A courser chip? What's it do?
The same thing it does for our coursers. Creates a link to the relay that allows them, and now you, to get in and out at will. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Speaking of, I trust our discussion will remain between the two of us. Now, I need to get back to work, and I'm sure you have other things to do.
Alright, that's a whole... Ooh, what's this?
This is day 8 of Trial 6. The last week has been very productive, but exhausting.
Such a waste of time.
I think we'll need a break after
I'd rather
this.
be designing more efficient.
Benet has done some really marvelous work with the personality mesh. It's almost too good. The responses map almost identically to expectations. Lifelike I've seen. Of course, it's not really Sean. None of his memories are in there. That, even now, would be a step too far. It's starting to have an effect on the team, I think. I know I've been caught up in the moment once or twice. Just a second or two, forgetting that he's not a real boy. Still, I think we'll need to consider restricting him to the lab only for the moment. I'm well aware that others are put off by his presence. If I were slightly more arrogant, I might consider that a sign of success.
Have you had time to examine my latest reports on batch 274?
Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans.
Dr. Holdren's Synth Gorilla project is showing promising results.
Synth gorillas?
Mankind redefined. It's catchy, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever.
I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough occupiers. Those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject. There's still people and there's some. At least admit that it's regrettable. After all.
So you used to major watching my back.
Got it.
It's very weird working with a computer that's all nice and shiny.
How can we hope to redefine mankind if we can't even hold on to our own?
Don't mind if I do. Oh, yep. This must definitely be Virgil's lab. Where's this serum at, Virgil? That's not it. Oh, apparently that's the information she needs. This is their test subjects. I guess they're all dead. Killed. 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 Terminated. You must be the two deceased.
This is Dr. Elliot reporting for the Bioscience Division. March 22-24.
Where's the serum?
We just received another batch of subjects. But as my previous report stated,
Ooh, there you go.
We're at an impasse here. More of the same won't help. The two most promising strains of FEV have been adapted to an ideal state, but we're still missing something. I am officially echoing the team's position.
They're making
The most likely
synthetic
progress for our research on
mutants?
synthetic organics requires new avenues of exploration. Additional Commonwealth subjects will not help. It's the same problem across the board. Exposure to too much radiation. We need someone new. There's a proposal we'll be putting forward. I am not entirely comfortable with it, but it seems the best course.
Why is it everything else around here is pretty and pristine and this is not? The hell is this? Damn, I'm about to get killed in this place. What happened in here? What is this? Test subjects? Prisoners?
Got it.
Cameras in these cells?
Sweet.
Scanners detecting sentient life. Alert level elevated. Standing down.
Dang, Assaultrons. And now we're just back to acting like we're in the Wasteland.
Nice.
this area off the grid. Is there any other kind of information to be had down here? Well, poor Sap should have learned how to make some synthetic food instead of people. They're eating the same junk we're eating. Why would they need bottle caps? There's something bad on the other side of this door. Alright, well, there you have it, folks. We are deep down inside of the Institute. And when we return, we're going to see what's behind this door as well. And finish our little tour of the Institute. So you folks remember to have fun, be safe. Don't forget to reload, and hopefully we will get to the bottom of whatever's going on here at the Institute, because it seems a little strange, and somehow we have to determine if this father person actually is Sean or not. So we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.